you don't have to say it. I already feel it. And I left it at that. And I was like, I'm aware.
Scott's in the doghouse.
I'm aware. Well,
so, not entirely, but she did say, well, you didn't really talk to me about it.
Well, that was...
It's the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
We are back to answer a question Allie said she had at the end of the last podcast. Welcome to the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast.
I remembered it because I asked my nail person, and so it stuck with me because I remember her answer, and I wanted to hear what your answer is. Would you rather have a week's worth of vacation a month or an extra paycheck every 6 months?
All right, I'm going to go with, I originally wanted an extra week's vacation every month. That was my original answer.
Oh, that was not my original answer.
Well, hear me out. My original answer was that because I was like, well, you know, $1,000 bonus, if that ever came our way, that's nice. But by the time Uncle Sam jumps in and takes the money, you really get about $375, you know? So your extra really isn't that extra. So I was just like, oh yeah, give me the extra week off a month. But now I'm torn again because I come back to it and I know something. It is not the easiest thing to ramp back. It takes sometimes a day or two to ramp back into what you know, your normal routine, or because you're off for the week and other people are not off for the week, you know, you have this stack that's been going that you have to catch up on, and now you're already behind, and you're sitting there going, God, you know, there's not enough time in the day to be able to do all these things, so I have to go back again. Let me get that.
I always feel the same. Like I'm always working a lot before and after a vacation. I also said to her, like, I get in the groove of work. And
me too.
I think it helps too that we enjoy our jobs for the most part. There are things about our jobs I do not like. It's not a lot of things, but there are some things I just don't care to do, but I have to do them. That's part of my job.
Yeah.
So for me, I do get to a point where I need a vacation.
Yeah, right.
It's not every month I say it though.
Yeah.
I get to that point probably at like, if I haven't had a vacation in 6 months.
Oh, that's a good stretch to say I need some downtime.
Yes.
All right, let me ask this. I'm going to switch the question.
Okay.
How about a 4-day weekend once a month?
Yes.
Okay.
That I will take because
versus the what was it, an extra paycheck a month or
no, an extra paycheck every 6 months.
Every 6 months. Okay.
Yes, I could easily get most of my work done.
Yep.
I guess it depends on the time of year, but I think that I would prefer how one of my girlfriends has this. She's a 4-10s person, so she works 4 days of the week.
Right.
And yes, I would rather have that. Absolutely.
Okay, see, now I'm with you on that one. I could get set up for it. I know it's coming. It's just a short enough stint that I could catch my breath. You know, that Thursday night when you're getting off for Friday and Monday, you're just like, yeah, it's like this, you know, it's Friday vibes times 10.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Gosh, yeah, it's like Friday on crack.
Right, exactly. So that I could do, and then I would take that over the extra paycheck every 6 months, because again, the extra paycheck every 6 months is always going to come down to this conversation. You know, that extra $300 I got, which should have really been without all the taxes, about, let's say, another $1,500. I'm just using numbers. I don't know what they actually are, but you get the idea of it. Mm-hmm. You feel robbed when that happens. You know, you feel like, well, I was supposed to get this and I'm getting this. And now, you know, so the long weekend, yes. The week off, no.
Here's what I like though, because my nail person said she wanted the time off, that she chooses happiness. That's what it's a good balance for her. And I think that for her, she would spend time with her significant other, and she has 2 daughters. So I think that's why, is that she wants that time to really enjoy life. And I love a person who enjoys life.
Oh, I love a person that enjoys life too. I'm just sitting there going, I don't want to go into it knowing that when I get back, I'm going to have a stack this thick of things to get through when normally I wouldn't. Or if it was a 4-day weekend, a Friday and a Monday in there.
That would stress me out.
It would catch me out. Yeah.
That's when I wouldn't be enjoying life.
I know. No, that's so true. God, that's funny that we're both on the same page. And I'm right with it, being taxed to death. The extra money, you'd get mad after the first time it hit. You'd be like, well, that really didn't feel worth it.
Right. No, I want the time. And I have to ask you one other thing about me.
Yeah. About you.
Do I have something that is like my go-to that I always say to people that annoys you? Because we have a coworker, and this is what made me think of it. We have a coworker. I really like her a lot.
Yeah.
But she has this go-to thing, and I've heard it so much. I just want to be like, yeah, I've heard this shtick. I don't want to hear this anymore. Oh. So she just showed me a picture of her and her kid. And she makes this big deal every single time she shows a picture of her kid about how big he is and how much larger. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm just offended how tall he is. Can you believe he's so tall? Can you believe he's so big? I want to be like, yes, I've seen your kid. I know how tall he is. I know how, and she makes a whole shtick out of it. And I'm thinking, do I have this same thing that I talk about something so incessantly in a way that people are like, yeah, we get it. We've heard it first.
We know you're in the murder podcast. We know you're into crime documentaries, but you're not alone. That's so many people.
Even like that's not
nobody
even
else is shocked that her kid's tall. We've all seen it.
Right. That's not even something like I don't talk about it with you because you don't care about it. Now, if somebody asks me,
sure.
Like we have one of our listeners, 1132, who's also she's a friend. Like her and I have absolutely exchanged messages. Have you seen this new murder podcast?
Yeah.
I don't say that to you.
No.
You don't care.
No.
So I wouldn't even say that's my shtick. Yeah, people know I like it.
No, that's the thing they know.
And I think that I have things that people know are me things, like makeup is a me thing.
That's a you thing. But also, you don't share. I'm going to use the term "ram that down people's throat" if they're not into it.
I mean,
there are people in the building, and I'll just use in the building because a lot of times Allie will get, if we have an event out, she'll spend some time getting ready here. Maybe after the show and whatnot before we go out. But you're not running up to people going, look at this. How does this, that's not, you're not doing that.
Right.
I need to take a quick break for just a second here because I believe one of the kids' schools is calling.
Oh, okay. We'll pause here.
Hold on just a moment here.
The Not For Your podcast is sponsored by Allison Aesthetics. It started out with me wanting juicier, plumper lips, and then I realized, oh my gosh, you guys do so much more. Like these amazing facials. I mean, look at that glow. Then I get a little bit of Botox in the forehead, and then I found out that they have hair removal. Oh, I went in hard on that. I don't even know the last time I shaved my armpits. I love that service, and it barely hurts. Like, for real. I really don't feel anything. Find all of their services at AllisonAesthetics.com. What's wrong, Scott?
All right. We've had
Scott, you always got something.
I do. I do.
You always.
I do. And
like nothing can just be normal.
I really, really strive to be a good person and a good friend. So we've had conversations over the years about house guests. What is too much? When is it time? Mm-hmm. Does the person get...
Because I've had my family stay too long.
Have you ever been in a situation very quickly after the person arrived? Very quickly. You're like, this isn't going to work.
Yes, but there's nothing that I could have done because again, it was family. So I just try to keep the peace and not say anything. But I wanted my peace.
Well, so let me explain what's going on. And I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that. So I have a friend that lives out of town. Mm-hmm. And they were kind enough. Well, when I say he was kind enough, and he's a bachelor. He lives, for the most part alone. I don't know what guests he has from time to time that come in, but I had a situation over the summer where I was out of town for a while. It was a week, and I stayed at my friend's house. Mm-hmm. It was very nice. It was a nice gesture. Now, I know we tease you about you're going to go through somebody's medicine cabinet. You're going to take a look when you go to the bathroom, right?
Yep.
But overall,
That's not a big deal, though.
how do you feel? I'm beginning to believe it. How do you feel about you as a house guest? How do you feel you are?
I think I am a pretty good house guest. There's a couple things. I always wake up early.
Yes.
And, I make coffee. I usually am pretty quiet because I'll go and I will walk around. I'll take a walk in the neighborhood, or I'll take a run or something like that. So that's for me specifically, so I don't disturb them.
Yeah.
I tend to go to bed early too, because that's just my natural way I am.
Yep.
And I think that for the most part, I'm good. I usually try to either bring a gift or buy them dinner out or something as, hey, thank you. I have been getting many people who have asked me to come back, so I think I'm a good house guest.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't ticked them off too much.
Yeah.
But not a good house guest, huh?
In about 40 minutes, I realized my large house is way too small for this.
And Scott's house is very large. Although the place that everybody sleeps is in one section. So that does kind of suck because there is no separation there. So,
well, I mean...
So Guy comes in, I have to say, we talked about this on the air. He comes in late, which that, first and foremost, sucks because I've had that. Usually my friends do. They'll come after work. So they leave Cleveland at, let's say, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that they're getting to my house. Then they want to talk and hang out. I'm like, no. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. I knew that you had broken sleep because he came in late. Then what happened?
It was an 11:30 arrival. I was in bed already by 9, and I had hit that pillow. Like you never know when you are sleeping that when you wake up, you're like, oh man, that was a good sleep.
Right. What decade am I in?
Right. Right.
So did you tell him to just come in, or did you tell him?
I did. I said, I'm going to leave the downstairs and the upstairs door open. And because I'm up so early again, also at 4 a.m, I'm like, well, I can lock up anything that needs to get locked up still. And I said, your bedroom is going to be in this location, and kind of left it there, Now, here's the thing is I'm thinking this is a short trip and I want to muscle through this.
Now, he didn't tell you how long he was staying?
Well, let's put it this way.
Because I usually get told I'm going to be there for such and such time. But then I've had guests stay longer, and I wanted to say to them in return, but you told me you were going to stay till only Sunday.
Well, and here's the thing.
Say that,
there are a lot of people that this individual knows in town. This is their former hometown area, so it's not as though...
He's got plenty of socializing to do.
There's that. Now, I stayed for a week there, but again, remember, he lives alone. It was a big house. At his house, his bedroom is upstairs. The bedroom I stayed at, which became also an office for me, was downstairs and at the back of the house. There was natural separation unless we walked into the kitchen together. You know what I'm saying?
And you also had a day I'm arriving, a day I'm leaving, right?
Yes. I'm like, I'm coming this day. I'm heading out this day.
And you also had business to do, so you guys weren't interacting that much during
up until
the day.
A certain point of the day, no. Okay. Now, also, it worked out well. I don't expect this. I'm not looking for this. There were a number of things that needed to be done at his house. He was doing kind of this big clean out, and I had no problem jumping in and helping him. In fact, one day we took a drive to the dump to get rid of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I helped him move a bunch of stuff and get some stuff organized. And it was one of those things. I'm like, whatever. I'm here. It's something to do. We can BS while we're doing some things, and just tell me where this box needs to go. I don't mind doing any of that stuff. That's not the thing. My house is a different dynamic. There's 2 adults already, myself, my girlfriend, and we have the kids, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just a busy lifestyle. And on top of that, she works late. I work early, but she's up early with me because we get up for, do things, in the morning to get ready. And then she gets the kids out, and then she's off to work and sometimes doesn't get home till 7 or even a little bit after. It's just, those are the days that we have, and we've gotten very used to them. Now, the thing is I know my friend very well. Mm-hmm. He's extremely, extremely dry. I'm pretty over the top. My girlfriend, not over the top, but inviting to the set. Nobody's as over as the top as me in my house, except for Gavin and maybe Lydia. But either way,
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I'm just over the top. I mean, my personality is it's a big personality.
Hey, welcome. Yeah.
Some people's personality, especially when it comes to jokes and humor, are very, dry. Well, I want you to take dry and take it to the next level of dry. Mm-hmm. Now, I get it because I know, I know who the person is.
Right,
I know where it comes from.
You've been friends with him long enough.
It was very, very quickly picked up by me that 6059 I don't think has the biggest comfort level. And I know nothing bad would happen, but I also don't want her to be in an uncomfortable. I mean, she doesn't really know them. This is not a relationship where she's known the person for 5 years. They come twice a year and, we get to see him for one of those trips a year. You know what I mean? This is not like that. Mm-hmm. And I was expecting this would be an in. They go to work, they're here in the evening, and maybe by the end of the weekend, they're heading back to wherever they got to go.
Yeah.
I don't have a solid end date. I feel like something's going to have to give there. But now I'm at the point going, I don't think I want this to continue for more than like a day and a half. But I also...
But didn't you already promise him a place to stay?
Well, I already said, yeah, come on up, do what you got to do. And I do want to fulfill that because I want to reciprocate to what was offered to me. But I also feel I'm an extremely easy house guest. I'm the always... how do I describe this?
Willing to help.
I want to make it seem comfortable for everyone, whether it's by humor or whatever. That's who I am. Now, I'm not saying that this person is not trying to make it funny, but like an expression of, I've already been through everything in the house, because when they got there, it was 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
They did not go to bed once. They were up the entire night. Oh. I knew this because Ginger, the dog, would bark from time to time when this person was maneuvering through the house. Uh-huh. Now, I did say, make yourself at home.
Well, yeah, but even me, the nosiest of people, I don't look through everything unless you're not there.
But but was that a joke? I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything of value in the house. I want to be real clear on this.
So why did you bring it up? It must bother you.
But it's weird. Would you just go through, unless you're looking for a glass, which I told him where it was, are you really, I don't really.
Am I opening cabinets? Yeah.
In the kitchen.
I am.
In the kitchen, you're kind of okay with that. But if you saw someone's large lady bag sitting on the table.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. So was that a joke? I've already been through everything. I know your secrets if you have any. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's a joke. And
okay,
come on, you said you know him. You said he's dry.
Very dry.
So I think that is a joke.
Now, if they don't remember your significant other's name and you've said it 4 times.
Oh, you don't remember anybody's name. You can't be getting on somebody for that.
Okay. So as a joke, on morning number 1 of them staying not sleeping the night before,
I know it's coming already.
He had said, I guess
Trudy.
He had made a comment about.
Of course, you'd be sleeping with a Trudy.
He goes, well, I didn't even have any dinner last night, and this and that, and and like I'm like. And my girlfriend told me, she goes, well, he had kind of mentioned that. And I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I guess he was snacking through the night. And we found that out because he gave Ginger some snacks along with him,
I don't like that though.
Well, it wasn't overly huge amount, but there were some snacks. It's fine. Whatever. The dog was up. They were bonding. That's fine.
Okay.
But then in the morning, my routine is to get ready, and then I got to get showered, and I get out the door to come to the studio.
Yeah.
And I realized, I'm going to be making some food here. Hey, buddy, would you like some eggs? I'm going to be making some eggs. How do you like your eggs? So I made breakfast at 4:00 in the morning, and
he sat down and ate it right then and there.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
yes,
great.
Which is, of course, I'm going to. If I'm making a meal, I'm not going to exclude.
Right, but I would do the same. Yeah.
I don't know. It feels different in my house than when I was visiting there. There were no kids there. There was just 2 adults, male, that were there.
Dude, I feel this so much. So I don't have kids, but whenever it was just me and I would entertain people, then everything was no big deal. Literally everything. Oh, did you want to take a dump on my dining room table? Sure, I don't give a crap, whatever. No, but my friends are respectful. But regardless, it was like, whatever. Now I live with somebody else, and we've had a couple people who are like, we're dying to come see the new house. We want to come visit. Now I'm like, what weekend works for you? And he's like, when are they coming? When are they leaving?
Yeah.
And what activities are we doing with them? He wants to know everything. I think it's different when you're navigating around other people. Now, I know you're navigating with kids too. I think what I'm hearing more than anything is I think it's more what your significant other is feeling about it.
Well, I was going to mention that. I know that this person is harmless and extraordinarily dry with their sense of humor. I get it. I can adapt to different people's, whatever they bring. For the most part, very few people can I not find a way to get along with or understand or figure out how they're presented themselves.
We're naturally go with the flow people anyway.
Exactly. We have to be with what we do. So exactly. I can adapt to it. Here's my problem. I'm torn. I feel somewhat obligated. I also do not want any level of discomfort for the person that I live with. Okay. Because they don't know the person. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not laying blame like, well, I'm going to have to do this because of them. No, I should want to do it because of them. And I mean, do I come up with an excuse why I need them out of the house? Was there a house fire at her daughter's house and she needs a place to stay? And I'm so sorry, but I have to care for the family side of things before anything else. I mean, that's rock hard believable at that point. Unless you look in the police blotter and you realize there was no house fire. Or do I just come out and say, man, I want to help you out, but I'm realizing this is a weird disruption for the family that is difficult. I mean, do I go that route, which is more of an honesty thing?
I like the honesty.
I need to come back and I need to ask this question. Since the comment was made, joking or not, I've already been through everything.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have anything to hide. I don't, if you want to come in and check out what's in my house, well, come on in and check out what's in my house. I guess at 3 a.m. when it is not on my list of things to do if I'm staying at someone's house to stay up. Now, mind you, they may have just been on a different schedule from their drive and stuff, but it's not on my list to go through everything. Okay, like Allie, I'm not going to lie. I might grab the medicine cabinet door after I wash my hands and peek in and just see what I'm up against, if anything. I don't look at that like a really huge invasion of privacy. But I do have to stop and wonder, were you just looking for a glass or do I need to have all right, let's start there. Do I need to have the conversation and be like, look, I know what I get the joke in this, but at the same time,
don't go back to that.
Don't go back to that.
No. Because I think he was absolutely joking about that.
You do?
Yes. Especially being a dry person, that is a dry joke. Don't overanalyze that. I think what needs to happen is 2 things. I think you need to ask him, how long are you staying? And if it's
that where it starts?
Yes. And I think if it's past Sunday, because I assume that you guys are going to be gone most of the weekend anyway, doing other things.
Yeah.
So, okay, we can host you till Sunday. And then after that, you'll just say, hey, because you told me that he has other family and friends here in town.
Yeah.
He can crash with somebody else, I'm
sure. And it really is
sure.
more of a work visit than it is. This is not really a social visit, although it is, there'll be some social time.
Absolutely. Now, I think that if he says Monday, maybe you go, okay, that's fine. But if he says, well, I'm not going to leave till next Friday, then say, hey, do you mind wrapping it up here on Sunday?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a half lie, half truth. We had plans for Jules to come stay with us next week for her spring break.
Oh, I think that's coming actually.
Yes, I know.
It,
listen to me. Well. So I think that you definitely need to get a hard date on that. Now, I'm a go with the flow person too. I will suck it up. Now, my significant other, he would not appreciate it, and it would be very uncomfortable the entire time. I just know it will. Like even if my parents stayed, I think he's just going to be uncomfortable. So I see why you want to wrap it up.
Right.
Because you don't want to be uncomfortable either.
I don't want discomfort for
anyone.
Yeah, no.
Now, and that's the one thing that like my significant other and I have talked about, because like one of the things was, and I'm not saying I'm not saying 6059 does not like him, but Zach.
Well, let's put it this way. The ability to like them has not opened up yet because the arrival time was late. We were already asleep.
Right.
Then, the morning exchange was a little, which any morning exchange is going to be a little awkward as you get used to each other. But it was a little bit, awkward.
Right. She might find that she really enjoys him over the next couple days. But I still think that you need to, because you're still living your life, you do need to have a hard date. Now, what I was going to say was my significant other, there is somebody in my life that he just does not like this person. And he is very vocal about it. So for that person to stay with us for an extended period of time just isn't going to happen. And I don't know how many times this guy would be staying with you guys, because you do have a life. You have a family. This is not single.
It's a routine.
Right. This is not single Scott anymore.
No.
And even if it was your kids, you still kind of live like single. You're like, you just kind of integrate the kids in and out of this guy being here, as long as everything is like super kosher on how he behaves around them, of course. And I would assume he's a grown ass man. He's probably going to behave kosher around them.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. He had even suggested a game night by bringing up his Xbox, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, So no, there's no. He brought cookies for the kids when he got here, So
this guy is great there. It's just the fact that your guys' schedules, you're right, are totally different, and you're living a different life.
It's schedules, and I don't want my girlfriend to be uncomfortable, because we do have, and I think a lot of it falls on the routine, the hours worked. I'll be honest, when she gets home after, because there's obviously the chores of getting the kids, put together for bed and stuff like that. And a lot of times I'm in the process of dinner's wrapped up, getting ready to get the kids ready to go down, and she's just making it back from her job. And
she just wants to relax. And it's hard to relax when somebody that you don't know or you're not used to is there. And that's exactly what my significant other says too. It's the same reason why he will not stay at my parents' house, or he doesn't want guests in our house, because he's like, I can't relax. I can't sit in my underwear or do whatever I want to do. I feel like I have to entertain them the whole time, or, I have to act a certain way. And I totally understand that. Now, I'm going to give you two perspectives.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you, because my significant other and I, we've had conversations similar to this, and he'll say, well, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, they shouldn't be here. This is my house. I pay the mortgage, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I feel like I got to respect that. But then I also say back to him, but these are my friends, and this is temporary. Can't you just suck it up for 3 or 4 days or whatever?
Well, in your situation, is there a friend specifically that you could not feel the tension, but you just know the connection's not there? Like, you just know these two people are not going to completely.
Yes. They don't jive.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's why Zach's like, I don't really care for that person. Like, yeah, I can suck it up a little bit. I can suck it up for like a dinner or whatever. But so he's like, I shouldn't have to have them in my house because we don't jive. I don't need them to like crap in my toilet, shower in my shower, do all that. And that's what I'm saying. I'm such a bad person to offer any advice, except for that there's got to be a deadline, and the guy's probably never going to come back for a week long or a longer visit anymore. You basically fulfilled your obligation because he let you stay.
Yeah, and that's what I keep thinking.
You're like, okay, one hand washed the other. Now we're done washing hands. But
I'm not sure I can do a whole week of it. Even if it was like, well, I'll be out by Tuesday. It's like,
whew, yeah.
Well,
and here's the other thing that
I can't do it.
Here's the other thing my significant other would say is, you're over the age of 40, stay in a hotel room. And I try to tell him like that gets expensive, or we're friends, so we like being around each other. Where he's like, no, you come to town, you get a hotel. This is not Hotel Houseworth. That's Zach's last name. This is not a Hotel Houseworth. I don't need to put every single person up in my house. Like they can come visit. They want to come visit. Do it like a normal vacation, how normal people do. You get a hotel. So I feel differently, and I feel differently because I crash at friends' houses all the time. And when I was single, my house was
everybody's house.
My house was everybody's house. And that's where I'm just saying this dude's got to be out by Sunday.
Okay, then we come back to the fact, should I go more so the spring break thing as opposed to the house fire and an emergency place to stay? Okay.
But let's start with, when do you plan on staying? Let him answer the question. If he says Sunday, then there's nothing else that needs to be said. Say, okay, I just want to make sure. And then if he says Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, well, 6059's daughter has spring break next week and she was going to come here. Okay, it is a lie. I'm sorry. I'm a liar and I don't even care. I'm a people pleaser and I'm
asking a way out of this. I'll take anything.
And I definitely like to tell people what they like to hear sometimes.
And here's the thing too. I'm trying I don't want to create a rift or a problem. I don't spend a ton of time with this person. Mm-hmm. We talk periodically. When we do, it's nice. But I'm not looking to create a situation where I'm creating conflict. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not the mission here, is to create conflict. But then again, I'm also sitting there thinking, people don't necessarily know. He's used to a specific lifestyle. He is a single man that lives alone and can do whatever the hell he wants whenever he wants to do it. Do whatever you want. Whatever your schedule is, it's your schedule, and enjoy it. I am a family man. I have a live-in girlfriend. I have 2 kids. I have a 7-month-old puppy that will rip your face off and then kiss you to death. You know,
I mean, she won't really rip your face off.
She would never do that. She's too sweet for that, but she likes to play. So, you know, and there's routines. There's things. There's different events, different nights of the week that we have to get into, and I can't entertain, nor do I really want to adapt to somebody else's lifestyle of the way they want to do. If he's the type of person that's like, well, I want to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning and talk to people and catch up with people and all this stuff, because he had said, he goes, boy, you put on Facebook, you're back around the area, people realize real quick you're back in town, you start getting contacted, and you know, which is great.
Mm-hmm. But that means he's going to be out having cocktails at the cellar till 11 o'clock tonight, and you're going to be in bed, and your dog's going to bark, and the kids are in school. And that's the thing. If it comes down to it, you can say that. Say, you know, we're a very scheduled family.
Yeah, we're on a regiment right now.
And your life is different. This is what's so baffling to me, by the way, is because I am too nice sometimes and let people stay way longer than they should. Is what's crazy is people who are living a totally different lifestyle. For instance, your friend who's single, that he doesn't feel that energy, or he doesn't realize, wait, you know what? This guy lives differently than me, so I need to go. This is now, I'm good on this stay. Or I need to go hook up with, Sarah and go stay at her house.
Yeah.
Because, and this is the other thing that is wild, is when I have people sometimes, they'll come and stay, and the first couple days are fun. Yeah, I'm totally in party mode. I'm like, let's wine tour. Let me show you all of Corning. Everything's great. But then it gets to a point where I am a scheduled person too. And I'm like, do they not feel they need to go because I need to get back into my schedule?
Some people don't.
Oh,
some people do not.
I know. And I've experienced it. And I'm like, go home. Go home.
Let me tell you, people that don't pick up signs really is alarming to me, because I'm like, if you can't pick up the signs, something is not quite gelling here. Then, you know, what else are you not picking up on now? Especially
because I don't know if you're like this, but once I start getting frustrated with a house guest, my face gets real tight. So I'm like listening to them, like, okay.
Or you start, you know, you keep yourself busy. You're constantly unloading the dishwasher.
Yes,
constantly.
Exactly.
Oh, I got laundry to fold. I'm super busy. You know.
To be honest with you, here is a good sign if you ever stay with me. Now, I know I'm different than everyone else, but every time my best friend from back home comes, like there's a group of us, but there's a couple of them I'm really, really close with. So every time Timmy comes home, oh my God, Timmy comes to my house, I will say, don't you want to stay one more day? Yeah. I say that. I extend that offer.
Yeah.
No, I have to go back to work. He's got a schedule. He's a regular scheduled person too, right?
Right.
No, I have to go back to work. And I cry anytime my friend's Disaster and Tanya come. I'm like, bye guys.
That would make me leave immediately.
Like those are the people I can be around forever and they don't bug me.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing.
But if I'm unloading that dishwasher, you need to go.
And it's a lot. Like, wow, this is my 12th load of laundry today, and it's all folded and put away, but I got to find something to dust now.
Yes, right. If I'm dusting the fan blades.
Oh my gosh.
Get the heck out.
It's time to go. Okay, I got one other quick question.
Okay.
I don't want to make light of the discomfort that was felt by my significant other, albeit I know you said you believe what they said was a very dry joke.
Yeah.
I've already been through everything. But there is that question now in the back of her head. Did you go through my bag? Did you look at my cable bill?
Oh.
Did you get my insurance from my car? I'm not, there's nothing nefarious per se, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is now in her mind. And I don't believe it's something that can be purged. So
that's what I'm saying. This is going to be his last overnight stay at your house.
Yes,
I guarantee it.
I know. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I feel obligated. I wanted to do a reciprocation of what was offered to me. Lifestyles are drastically different, and
that's actually what I think you're going to need to say.
But that's to get him out.
No,
How do I deal with
in a year from now? So you already have your plan now. You're going to ask him when he's here till. And then if he says longer, you're going to say spring break excuse.
Okay. All right.
But in a year from now, if he asks to stay, you're going to have to be honest and you're going to have to say, you know what? I love you, man, but we're very regimented and you're not. And you're going to have to find, you can even say, maybe a night. See, this is me where I waver.
Yeah.
I shouldn't, but
maybe a night, but yeah.
Right. But you need to say, hey, I want to hang out with you when you come to visit next year, or like when in a year from now, if he calls you, say, I would love to do dinner with you.
Yeah.
Something where maybe if it's just you and him, even hang out for a dinner or a cocktail or something like that.
At the rate it's going, it would only be me and him that would hang out in the future.
And that's okay. That is okay.
Yeah.
There are certain friends that I hang out with, just them.
Certain personalities just don't vibe. But my biggest thing is now I feel, all right, let's say this person has to be around for a couple more days. Let's just say that I'm fulfilling the obligation. I've made the obligation. I have to do something, or something has to be mentioned to set my significant other at ease that either it was a joke that he went through everything, because wouldn't you feel?
No, now he's going to take that joke even farther, because if
now you're thinking like you, but I don't want her thinking like, well, did he go through my underwear drawer while I was at work? People
what are you going to ask
like
him?
this.
Did you go through her underwear drawer? No.
Come on, isn't it human nature? If somebody makes a comment like that and you don't quite pick up that it's an extraordinarily dry sense of humor, don't you kind of, it's in your thought process. You're like, what are they going through now? I mean, I got to keep, this has to be set at a level of ease.
It sounds
He's not a dangerous person. It's just, I need to set everyone at ease. I feel like, wow, this got off to a real weird start.
So what are you going to ask him? Hey, did you actually go through her purse? Like, now you're going to create a very uncomfortable situation.
Oh, that might get him out quicker.
I mean, if that's the route you want to go.
No, I'd rather say there was a house fire somewhere in Pennsylvania and they need to. No, that's right. Spring break. Sorry. Never mind.
Sounds like you want him out today.
Tomorrow at the latest.
Well, that's not a very good reciprocation.
But not because I'm trying to be mean about it. It's just
because he made your significant other feel uncomfortable.
There's that. Yeah. And I'm realizing very quickly the lifestyles do not jive together very, very well. And it's more so it's the scheduling. It's not, again, I am not worried about the individual harming anyone or
stealing anything. No. First of all, I think he has plenty of his own money.
Everything there is fine. That's not what it is. It's more the concern of, I've got to make everybody comfortable. You got something good.
I think I figured it out. I know this guy has decent money. He worked. I'm not saying he's rich, but he could afford a hotel. I think he was coming up here to have bro time. And
that's unfortunately no time right now.
Right, because that's the life that he leads. When you went down there, you didn't have your children with you. So you had that. Even if you guys were going to the dump, like you said, you were having bro time.
Yeah.
So I think he wants that again. You're not able to give it.
Right now, the schedules don't know. That's, that's not what it is.
I'm hoping.
trying to be considerate to everyone, and it's hitting me in the face again.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's picking up on this too. Like, oh, I'm not getting the bro time. I'm not going to come back here and stay because I'm not getting my bro time that I'm wanting.
Originally, the whole reason that he's here is actually a work trip. Yeah. So there is,
which means his work should be paying for him to stay somewhere.
Well, there was some, from what I understand, there is some travel expense. I don't know how much. I did not get into that. But the thing about it is my work time is very early to a certain point in the day. Then I have a lot of family stuff that I have to be obligated to take care of, which I've chosen to do and want to do.
We know all that. You're just really worried about wrapping it up in a day or so.
And I can't stay up till midnight, hanging around, having conversations, whatever. Also, I don't want to have my significant other be uncomfortable or know that I'm really just trying to stay, like I'm spending a lot of time having these conversations alone with him and she's not, and I know she's not. She's in, the bedroom hanging out, reading a book or whatever.
Right, because she doesn't want to hang out with him.
She does not. There's not that interest now. Now, again, it maybe under different circumstances, it would have been different if there was time to hang out beforehand and do all that. This is like you're thrust into staying here. And again, I feel badly because she goes, well, we didn't really talk too much about it before he came. I'm like, I felt, you got to realize he did me a solid when I needed a solid.
But
so you gotta sort of hold up a certain end of a bargain. You know what I mean?
I get it. I totally get it.
I mean, it wasn't like I went to Cleveland, like, your friends, you're like, well, I'm going to go spend a couple nights because it's St. Patrick's Day weekend and it's a big social get together, or so-and-so is getting married. This was a week I conducted my business out of his home and had to do some traveling. And in this case, it is meant to be a similar type thing.
It sounds like your life is going to be a little hellish until you get him out of the house. So I think that you, though, you and I are alike in this way.
Yeah.
As much as we're not alike, we're alike in this way. That I am going to try to drag it out and let him stay until Sunday.
Yeah.
But you're getting a lot of pressure for him to get out of there. So.
Yeah. And it's not even heavily spoken pressure. It's the kind of pressure.
It's the silent pressure.
You just know. In fact,
Yes.
I will be honest with you. Before I left for work this morning, I looked at my significant other and I'm like, you don't have to say it. I already feel it. And I left it at that. And I was like, I'm aware.
Scott's in the doghouse.
I'm aware. Well,
so, not entirely, but she did say, well, you didn't really talk to me about it.
Well, that was the one comment. I think that comment was very quickly kind of looked at as though, all right, I understand the obligation you feel. Okay, so she knew that.
All right, so if she understands the obligation, then he stays till Sunday. That's all there is to it.
I mean, thank God we have a busy weekend out of the house.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
It's not that I don't want to see the person. It's just I don't want to see them that much.
Here's what you have to do. You need to let her know that you are talking to him about a deadline to leave, and that if he doesn't leave by Sunday, that this is the plan of action. Because then I think she could go, okay, at least he's got a plan, and he knows that I'm uncomfortable, and he knows that I don't really want to be around this guy.
Okay.
So I think that's the only thing that you can do for now, because she knows the obligation.
Okay.
So,
it's going to be a real fun couple days.
Right. Next week, I am dying to hear how you said, hey, what day were you planning on staying till? Remember, let it pause, let him answer.
Okay.
And then go from there.
All right.
All right.
Mission accomplished.
We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be, because I know you. Goodbye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.